Hello, hi Vibers. This is Leah. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome to this channel. We're getting ready to do an angel card reading, and then we move into a quantum healing treatment to where the energy that comes up with the cards that needs to be released and healed and cleared, we move into clearing that. So first we start with the reading. And as we're going through the reading, we're bringing up any energies that is within your field that is ready at this moment to be cleared out. And it doesn't matter when you watch this video, whether it's today or tomorrow or 2 years from now. If you're attracted to this video, the energy works the same because it's quantum. So there is no time and space, and anytime you use this, you can listen to the reading and as well do the quantum healing treatment if you choose. If you want to skip to the quantum healing treatment, it is time stamped at the bottom. There is more information about quantum healing at the bottom as well, and what the process moving forward on how we're going to work through this reading. So let's get started. We're using the angel cards today, and we're going to hear from the angels. And I've already shuffled and pre-picked these cards, and we're going to get started with the reading. And let's see what the angels have for us today. So we have intuition and downloads, and then we have composure, and then we also have take a step back. So right when I studied these cards. So I studied them for a little bit just to get any messages from spirit. The first thing I noticed was the attention to the head. So I'm looking at the girl here, she's holding her head, and I'm looking at the hood over the young man's head here and the hood over his head here. And I said what came through was that there is a lot of headaches, head movement, a lot of mind energy happening right now. Right now we are in a space energetically in the collective that there's a lot of information, and there's a lot of information coming forward where people aren't sure what to believe. You know, they're hearing things here and there. They're hearing things perhaps they've never heard of before, and that can really get to your head, so to speak. So I'm looking at this card. She's holding her head, and their heads are covered as if there is some form of protection over their head. So let's go a little bit deeper into each of the cards. So here, there's intuition and downloads. Again, we're in an energy space now where the veil has been lifted. The veil of illusions of what I call the old world or the old guard have been lifted. So we're now in a place of spaciousness. So with that being said, we have an opportunity to really open up to any intuitive downloads that are coming through from spirit. And so we have the first card here. And I'm going to read this so we can get a little bit more information on what the angels are saying. Hearing high-pitched noises, seeing flickers of light, and having the sense that beings are visiting you in your sleep are all signs that you are receiving downloads from heaven. When you draw this card, your angels want you to know that the feelings you are having and the intuitive urges that you have been feeling are divinely inspired. If you feel that you've been having psychic insights into a particular situation and have been wondering if you can trust them, this card is reassuring you that they are indeed correct. This is a time when you are able to see, hear, and feel beyond the human senses. Your intuition is becoming stronger, and you are in touch with angels, guides, and other divine beings who are encouraging your growth and connection to the universe. You are a light worker. This means that you have the capacity to bring light to the earth through your presence and purpose. Even though you may feel sensitive and overwhelmed, know that your gifts are stronger now and your psychic muscles are moving. You are being encouraged to look beyond what physical eyes are showing you. You may want to use what you pick up to plan ahead. If so, it's important to keep your mind and energy focused on the best possible outcome. Be aware of signs and symbols showing up. At this time, your angels are sending you important messages that will help you move forward in your life. Call upon them to help you connect deeply with the spiritual vision that is opening up within you. So there we go. Even though you may feel sensitive and overwhelmed, know that the gifts are stronger. So that's what I'm sensing. I'm actually sensing for the collective right now that there's a feeling of being overwhelmed. Like there's so much information coming through, not only information from intuitive downloads, but also information from the collective, information from the media, information from all of the people around you. And then the information is shifting. So we have a lot of truth coming forward, but yet we still have the old information that tricks us and is a form of illusion. So not knowing really what to believe can keep us very, very confused and overwhelmed. So let's move on to composure. So I'm looking at this intuition and downloads, and the energy, again, what I'm feeling is you're getting these downloads, but you're feeling overwhelmed. So this is asking us to practice composure. Like, so it's moving us forward. It's saying this is what's happening first, and let's move on to composure to help you out. So it says, take time to gather your thoughts and energy, because there's a good chance that you're experiencing a buildup of frustration and annoyance at this time. You are a passionate, loving, and joyful being, but at the same time, you don't want to be taken for granted or underestimated. The warrior within you wants to rise up and fight, or at least prove your skills, talents, and worth. But drawing this card indicates that right now, you're not going to be respected or heard in the way that you deserve. Angel wisdom is guiding you to retreat, reflect, and compose yourself before proceeding forward. So take time to ask your angels, guides, to help you compose your thoughts and your energy. Know that the divine hand of God is upon this situation and everyone involved, and there's no need to worry about anyone's karma but your own. Just retreat, refuel, regain composure. And that follows this card here, the intuition and downloads. Like, you may be, what's coming forward is you may be having these intuitive insights and you're wanting to share them. And perhaps the people you're sharing them with aren't ready to hear them. They're not respecting like your voice, and that can leave you frustrated. That can be annoying at times, so as we are going through this process, as all of this information is available to us, we need to practice composure as well. So let's move into take a step back. So we're looking at this, okay, we're getting this intuitive guidance, and then we're having to compose ourselves and then to take a step back. So let's see what that message is too. This is, you can't make this up. This is just like giving you basically a footprint, like saying, hey, do this, do this, do this. So your angels are guiding you to take a step back and reflect before proceeding forward. This is an excitable and action-orientated energy around you at this time, but you are being encouraged to review the situation before making any moves. Remember that you are a sensitive being, and should the correct steps and intentions be lined up, you could open yourself up to harsh energies or a situation that could be limiting your growth. In order to have the best experience and a positive outcome, take some time now to meditate on your actions, intentions, visions, and goals. Call on your angels and invite them to guide you to make decisions that will be supportive of your expansion and highest good. When we try to rush ahead and force something to happen, we can often miss signals, signs, and messages that are encouraging us to change course. If you have a big decision to make now or are in the midst of moving a project forward, your angels are encouraging you to take a step back and breathe. What is for you won't go by you. Your angels are encouraging you to step into the energy of trust. When you do so, you will draw universal energy and support to you. If you have concerns about another person or a relationship, this card is guiding you to draw back and respect the space of others. Let this be a time of self-care and self-awareness. And when you step back, you let the universe step in. So there we have it. Now, each of the cards mentioned to ask your angels for help. Now, I know sometimes I have a hard time with remembering that, asking for help, because I'm one of those people who just, do on my own. But this is encouraging us that we're not alone. No man is an island, and no one is here alone, whether physical or non-physical. We are supported and we are receiving help. So here we have almost like a blueprint, like a guideline, like, look, you're receiving, this is what you're doing now. This is what's happening. You've been doing this in the present state. Have some composure, and then take a step back before you make any steps forward. And then ask your angels for guidance, because what I'm feeling here is like a lot of energy of frustration, energy of overwhelmment. And here, this young gentleman is here holding a mudra. That's a mudra that he's showing with his hands. And mudras are hand gestures that, it's yoga, that we use in yoga. And mudras help to move subtle energy in certain ways throughout the body to assist us in healing, to assist us in healing our physical body, to assist us in healing our emotional and mental bodies. Mudras are very powerful, and he's holding one. And I noticed that when the card popped out, and it's the Abhaya Varada Mudra, and this is the balance of the Vata dosha. The dosha in Ayurvedic studies there are three doshas. There's the Vata, which is air, and there is the Pitta, which is fire, and there's the Kapha, which is earth. So he's holding this like to bring in more air. Remember, the angels mentioned spaciousness, for us to create space. And that is one of the ways that we can feel overwhelmed, is that if we don't feel like there's enough space, if we're receiving all these downloads, receiving all this information, when we maintain composure and take a step back, in that we create space. And one last thing before we end here and move into the quantum healing treatment, I did notice this behind both of these cards, as I'm noticing the same person covering their head like it's a form of protection, like there's a lot going on, like there's a lot of mental stimuli happening, so let me just cover my head for protection. And this looks like a beaker, remember in science and in chemistry where we used to use those beakers? That's what it looks like to me. So what I did, of course, was I went and I just looked up beaker, and the first words that came out to me with the definition was the reaction container. So beaker, those two words, reaction container, really? And this beaker is like right at his head, and it's at his head right here, and their heads are covered. Come on, y'all. You can't make this stuff up. So everything has a reason, everything has a purpose, and everything has a message. That's how I live my life. And I look deeper into the things so I can see what the message is for me. So I'm looking at this as reaction container. So here we're talking about composure. Here we're talking about taking a step back. We have this beaker behind his head, which is the head being a reaction, how we process our reactions, like they're containing our thoughts, our beliefs, our considerations. Is what we think about this and what we think about that is all causing us to have certain reactions. And here we have this hood over our head, like there's this form of protection to help us maintain our composure and be able to respond and react in a space of love during this time. So that's the reading for today. I hope this was helpful, and we're going to move on to the quantum healing treatment. All right, High Vibe and Soul family, let's get to the treatment so we can clear away all the energy that came up in our reading today. And some of the things were overwhelmed, frustration. We want to open up space to receive all these intuitive downloads that we're having. We don't want to be confused. We want to be clear. And in a lot of cases, we want to allow ourselves to have composure and take a step back. And sometimes when we're very confused and not really sure what to do because there's too much coming through, it stops us from making a move forward. So what we're going to do in this treatment is clear these energies out of the way. So really quickly, I'm a practitioner of the healing arts, and quantum healing is my jam. And we're going to go through one iteration of treatment today. And just quickly on quantum healing, what it is that we're clearing energy in your field throughout all dimensions, time, space, and reality. There's a video that I have included below. And there's more information on what quantum healing is if you want to tap into that. As well, if you want to get to know a little bit more about me, you could go to my Instagram page. It's at VHWLEAH. So that's Vibe High with Leah. So it's VHW Leah. And just check me out. You can feel for my energy. And if you resonate with me, feel free to join in on this quantum healing treatment, So I'm going to guide you through the steps. So you're probably going to hear me go quiet. When I'm quiet, that means I have entered the quantum field and I am receiving information and accessing what is present to be cleared. We are clearing on an individual and collective basis. So meaning anything that's happening in your life individually that came up for you in this reading, we will work on that, as well as anything that is happening with the collective. We will work on that together. And again, it doesn't matter when you watch this video. Whenever you watch this is the perfect time for you to get the message and do your healing. And as well, we're doing one iteration. So if you want to come back to this video to go through the process again, you can. But how quantum healing works is, once the quantum healing process begins, then the process will continue until you're actually done with it. So I'll give you an example. When I ask you for what number is coming up for you, the number of resistance as we walk through the process, you're going to come up with a number. And once the quantum healing process begins, that number is going to dissipate and it's going to go down. After this video, you can continue to stay breathing and stay within, your heart space. Until it dissipates to zero. If it doesn't dissipate to zero, the number stops at 2 or 4 or whatever. That means that you have released all that you're ready to release for today. And you can always come back to this video. But just make sure you're hydrated. So if you need to drink some water, go ahead and pause this video and hydrate yourself. Get in a quiet space, where you're not interrupted. You should feel very relaxed as we move through this process. And lastly, before we begin, you may start to feel some energy moving. So you could possibly feel chills. You could feel, energy movement somewhere in your body. You could feel, like any tightness or, some form of movement in your head or whatever. It's all good. Do not panic. The only thing that is happening is energy is moving and you're clearing it out, and you're clearing what no longer serves you. So don't be afraid, don't be dismayed as we go through this process and this treatment. And again, one more time, if I go quiet, I'm still here. So you just keep breathing and I will prompt you through the steps. So what we have here, this is a quantum healing infusion. This is infused. This is an oil that is infused with a high frequency, a very high frequency. This is a frequency of pure love, of pureness. And once this infusion is lit, the quantum healing process begins. So for more information on what this quantum healing infusion is, click on the link below that is going to tell you more about, the quantum healing process and also the quantum healing infusions. But once this is lit, the quantum healing process will begin. You may hear me say some words. Once again, I may say some clearing statements. It just depends on what I'm guided to do. But I really don't have to say much of anything. Once this is lit, it's going to start the process. But, you may hear me say some words. So let's get started. I'm going to switch this out. And we're going to light the candle and get in a comfortable, position. You can lie down if you want to, or sit in a chair. We want nothing crossed, no arms crossed, no legs crossed. We want to be open. If you're sitting in a chair, your feet are placed down onto the ground. Palms are up, resting on your thighs. So take a moment to close your eyes, and I'm going to connect as well. And I'm just going to call on, our guides and to create some protection around us. And I'm going to call on a mighty I am presence and team of the highest spirit, all angels of the higher courts. We call on you to assist us, provide protection as we go through this healing treatment process. All the angels that were with us through the reading, we call on you. We call on the higher courts to assist us through this process. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and take a deep breath, a deep inhale. Let that belly open up, and then when you exhale, soften your brow. And on your next exhale, soften your cheeks. Then relax your tongue. And on your next exhale, drop the shoulders. Allow them to just drop down like it's ice cream melting and falling off of a cone. Let's bring your awareness to your heart center. And there is a flame within your heart. We're going to call on this light and this flame of love to appear. Now, on your next exhale, let's drive this light or this flame through our legs, through the soles of our feet, all the way down to the center of the earth. The center for me is a crystalline center. Take a deep inhale, inhaling that loving energy into your heart. Then we're going to take that light and we're going to guide it upward through the crown chakra, all the way up, about 300 feet. And then we're going to inhale that loving light into our hearts. And then we're going to inhale heaven and earth together into the heart. So we're going to call on the resistance that came up for this reading today. You don't have to have a name. You don't have to have an explanation for it. Just call up the resistance you're going to feel. Some energy up here. And between 1 and 10, with 10 being the greatest resistance and 1 being the least, what number do you feel that this resistance falls? Now keep breathing. I'm going to prompt you to breathe when it's necessary. And we're going to begin the quantum healing process. So superconscious mighty I am presence. Treat all beliefs, emotions, trapped events, circumstances, concepts, considerations, judgments, belief systems, memories that are showing up as this resistance, that are showing up in this active awareness. Treat for the best possible experience out of life. Treat for love, joy, across all dimension, time, space, and reality. Superconscious treat any generational karma. Superconscious treat all lower chakras. And take a deep breath. Keep breathing. Superconscious treat the energy of wavering, confusion. Superconscious treat anxiety. Superconscious treat restlessness. So we're going to just treat the shoulders and the neck. Take a deep breath. And check in on your number and see that it dissipated. That is one iteration of a quantum healing treatment. Feel free to continue breathing and check in with the number to see if it dissipates. Drink lots of water. And also feel free to come back to this video and go to the timestamps for the quantum healing treatment to continue the process again on another day if that resonates with you. Feel free as well to reach out to me. Like I said, check my Instagram out and reach out if you're wanting a private session, or if you want me to work with a group or something like that, or you want more information on any energy healing arts. So family, thank you so much for joining me today on this reading along with this quantum healing treatment. I love you all.